Okay, picture this. The American Revolution. You're probably thinking muskets, cannons, big battles, right? But what if I told you one of the most important secret weapons was laundry? Seriously, laundry, hanging on a line. We're about to dive into the incredible story of the secret spy network that basically saved the whole revolution.
Yeah, you heard me right. This was one of the most brilliant, most effective spy rings in history. And the craziest part, they were so good, so secret, that for more than 100 years, nobody even knew they existed.
All right, so let's set the scene. It's 1778. Things are not going well for the Americans at all. General George Washington is up against this massive British army, and he's got a huge problem. It felt like the British were mind readers. I mean, no matter what Washington did, no matter how secret he tried to keep his plans, the enemy always seemed to be one step ahead. It was like he had a leak, a major one, and the whole dream of American independence was just fading away. So Washington has this light bulb moment. He realizes, okay, we can't win this with just soldiers and guns. We're outmatched. To beat an enemy this powerful, he had to get inside their heads. He needed to know what they were planning before they did it. He needed intelligence. He needed spies. And that's when he greenlit the creation of a top-secret network, the Cupler Spy Ring. So who were these incredible spies, these people who were about to change history? Well, get ready for a surprise. These weren't some slick, trained secret agents. Nope. They were basically just regular people. We're talking about a farmer, a guy who owned a tavern, a local merchant, all of them living deep behind enemy lines in New York, which was occupied by the British. These are the last people you'd ever suspect, right? By day, they're just doing their jobs, living their lives, but by night, they were risking their necks for the American cause. And how they did it is just genius. This was old-school spycraft at its best. Super low-tech, but incredibly high stakes. They'd gather intel on what the British were up to, write it all down in invisible ink, yes, real invisible ink, and then pass messages using secret codes and dead drops. But the coolest part, the part I mentioned earlier, the clotheslines. A certain number of handkerchiefs hang on the line, or a black petticoat among the white ones. It was all a signal. It could mean I have a message for you or danger, stay away. How brilliant is that? And believe me, this wasn't just small-time gossip they were passing around. The intel from the Cupler Ring completely changed the game. It had a direct, massive impact on the war, and a lot of that was thanks to maybe the most fascinating member of the whole group. At the center of some of their biggest wins was a total mystery, a person known only by a number, Agent 355. Seriously, to this day, nobody knows who she really was. 355 was just their code for lady, and she was their ultimate secret weapon. The theory is she was a woman who was part of the British high society, someone who could get unbelievably close to high-ranking officers and listen in on conversations no one else could. The secrets she gathered weren't just helpful, they were pure gold. And the intelligence from her and the rest of the ring led to some absolutely game-changing moments. For one, they exposed Benedict Arnold's treasonous plot to hand over West Point to the British, a move that could have ended the war right there. Then they found out about a secret British plan to ambush the French fleet that had just arrived to help, and they got the warning to Washington just in the nick of time. And all their intel was absolutely crucial for planning the final war-winning battle at Yorktown. So the war ends, America wins, and what happens to these spies? They just disappear. They go back to being farmers and merchants and tavern owners. And this is what's truly mind-blowing. The entire story of this spy ring, this absolutely vital part of American history, just vanished. 150 years. Let that sink in. For 150 years, their secret was kept. An entire century and a half. Generations of people lived and died without ever knowing that this amazing group even existed. Their names, what they did, the risks they took, it was all completely lost. I mean, look at this timeline. The war ends in 1783, and the Cupler Ring just fades away. It's not until the 1930s, that a historian accidentally finds a bunch of George Washington's old letters, and suddenly, this incredible secret story comes to light. And get this, the secrecy was so tight, everything was so compartmentalized to protect everyone, that George Washington himself never even knew the real names of all his spies. Think about that. The commander-in-chief didn't know who was in his own spy ring. He knew that was the only way to keep them all safe. So the story of the Cupler Ring really makes you think, doesn't it? We all know the famous names from the history books, the generals, the politicians, but this story shows us that some of the biggest heroes, the ones who truly turned the tide, were the ones nobody ever knew, the ones who worked in the shadows. And it just begs the question, how many other unknown heroes are out there, their stories just waiting to be found?